Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, how are you guys doing? This is Brandon from Journey Financial. You guys are listening to All-Star Talk Radio. Today I have a special guest with me. She's a realtor over at Keller Williams, doing very well over there, and it's one that I've been working with for quite some time. I'm excited to have her on the show. Got a pretty good topic today. It's being a buyer's agent in a competitive market. Right now, with the way things are in our market, we see that it's very hard for some of these buyers to get accepted. A lot of times there's a lot of offers on a lot of properties here, and I'm going to have her kind of explain what's been going on as well as some of the details on how she's getting her buyers accepted and continuing to fight through these struggles that other agents may be having. Jamie has been an agent for quite some time, and she'll tell you about herself here. She also has been working with top producers, and so she's gained a lot of experience just alone with that, and is now kind of flying on her own and doing phenomenally well, better than a lot of agents would do in such a short period of time. Again, this is Jamie Bulaich from Keller Williams.
Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Doing well. How you doing?
Good. So just to give you guys a little bit of background on myself, graduated from Cal State Long Beach, and at the age of 27, I became a marketing director for a multi-divisional corporation. Decided the corporate world didn't really work for me, so I got into real estate because a friend had mentioned it to me, and jumped right into that, and I've been in it ever since. I've, interviewed with Keller Williams and love the company, love the model, love that they're so education-based. Because I myself am really into social media, and I actually teach classes, which has also brought me to be on the ALC for the Keller Williams LA Harbor office, and which is kind of like, if you don't know what ALC is, Agent Leadership Council, it's a board of directors for that market center because we are an agent-run company.
Look at that. I already learned something new on this show, and we're 2 minutes into this, if that. I didn't even know what ALC was, so it's a great thing. So we're going to get into our topic today, being a buyer's agent in a competitive market. So she just told you a little bit about herself, why she got into real estate is really what I want to know. Because, again, a lot of people always say, hey, I want to sell real estate, I want to buy real estate, I want to be an investor. I talked to a young gentleman probably last week or maybe a couple weeks ago. His parents' house was just sold in Garden Grove, California. Big home over there, sold for a nice, pretty penny. And I'm guessing he saw the paycheck that realtor was making and obviously thought, hey, if he can do that, I can do that, so I want to get into real estate. But it's not as easy as just getting a license and walking into homes and selling them. There's a lot more detail into it. So
Definitely.
Why did you get into real estate, Jamie?
I got into real estate, believe it or not. I actually read the MREA book, Mega Real Estate Agent book that Gary Keller published about 5 years ago. And this was before real estate was even a thought in my mind. And it kind of made me, it started cranking, it started sparking this little wheel in my head, and I just started thinking about it. And when I ended up leaving the corporate world, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a shot. So I went with it, and I'm really customer service-based. I really like to form friendships with my clients so that I can get to know them as well as I need to in order to help them find what they need. And 9 times out of 10, we end up being friends after the deal and still hanging out. So I like to, have a one-on-one contact basis with my clients.
Person to person.
Yep.
So she chose Keller Williams. Now, I've seen a lot of different companies out there, and actually one thing I do hear about Keller Williams is the level of education that they do bring to their real estate agents and the technology as well as the new wave.
Definitely. Yeah, we're definitely big into education. I attend Keller Williams Family Reunion, and I will every year, and I'll be at Mega Agent Camp this year in September in Austin. I go every year. But I also teach, and I teach social media classes, not only at my office, at the LA Harbor office, but I also teach at the Long Beach Coastal office and any other offices that ask me to come in and help their agents. But Keller Williams definitely is agent-based teaching. They offer free classes. It really is a company to go with if you're just starting out in real estate because they definitely try to put you in the best position so you can put your best foot forward.
Yeah, throwing plugs in there for Keller Williams. I'm sure they're going to love that. Okay, so one thing that I have been hearing, I think I just mentioned it a little bit ago, is there's a lot of offers on a lot of properties here. So on average, how many offers do you feel a buyer is going up against per property nowadays?
Today, in the seller's market, we're definitely seeing, I've seen from zero, like last week, we just got an offer accepted. They said they had one other, but they were in verbal negotiations. We actually physically handed in an offer, and we got it accepted. But I've also seen up to 27, which is outrageous right now. But it's definitely a competitive market out there. The inventory is low no matter where you look in California. It's definitely all over the place. So you just got to put your best foot forward and shoot out as many offers as you can until you land one.
Inventory is low, so no matter what you hear on CSNBC or any website or media on TV, until you hear from an agent who's out there in the field or in the trenches dealing with these battles, you won't know the truth. But really, when you hear it from a professional agent, you will know the real truth, because they can only tell you what they know and what they're experiencing day to day to help you get into your property that much better. And there was one thing she mentioned in her last little comment there that I think she's going to go over again on one of my questions. So I'm going to leave it out, and you'll hear it soon, and I'll bring it up again. Next question for you, Jamie, is how many houses are you showing for each buyer? Because it is taking a little bit of a time with the amount of offers per property to get accepted from what I hear from other agents and their struggles.
Definitely. As a buyer's agent, when I put that hat on, I'm definitely showing more properties than I have in the past, just because of the way that the market is right now. I'm definitely, we're pretty much going maybe to like 7 to 10 properties. It's very rare. I mean, in some instances I've had where it was, 1 to 2 properties and boom, we were ready to go. We were able to get our offer accepted. But on the norm for now, on the average, is definitely about 7 to 10 properties.
Good. Okay, so that's kind of something for these buyers to understand, is that first property you see or fall in love with, you may not get. It's competitive, and you have to shoot off as many offers as you can so you get accepted there and you find the one.
Yeah, not only that, it's sometimes realtors don't put pictures on the listings that you're receiving from me. And it's from the MLS, so any realtor who's sending you listings from the MLS, if the listing agent doesn't put in pictures, we can't really see what the property's like. Maybe the specs look good as to what you're interested in, but, we got to go look at it firsthand. Otherwise, sometimes pictures can be deceiving. And that's the other thing, that's the flip side, it may look great and crazy on the listing with all those pictures, but until you get there and actually experience the property, you won't really know if you're really interested in it.
That's right. Some of these realtors, I think, should be going into photography instead.
Yes. Definitely.
A little trickery there. Here, your next question for yourself. What do you do when a buyer wants to lowball an offer in a competitive market right now?
Straight up, I tell them how it is. You can't really lowball in this market. Things are listing agents are asking you already to remove appraisal contingencies because they know that it's just going to be all-out war on that property. So you're definitely, I just tell them, you're going to be up against other buyers. I always do my research first before I get into that conversation with my buyers. I always call the agent, see, try to ground up some information and see, do they have any other offers? When will they be presenting offers? Because sometimes they're holding offers for a week, right, and everybody and their brother can go in and throw in an offer, and then it creates that whole all-out war.
Right.
So I'm definitely, prepping my buyers to making them understand how the market is today and what needs to be done in order for them to get their offer accepted. Also, on the flip side of that, depending on how many offers there are, you can structure an offer in a way that may be more enticing to a listing agent, and I like to utilize that, and I'll bring it up if I feel it's advantageous for that offer.
Right. Obviously, it depends what type of sale it is, short sale, standard, REO.
Definitely, because everyone's written a little bit different.
Everyone's different. Every property is different. Every listing agent who's ruthless out in these marketplaces trying to double in their own deals here.
Definitely.
Different market we're in. So.
Not fair. Share the love.
So when that happens, what is the best way to submit an offer when it's that competitive and these agents are trying to double end one, and to make yourself, even regardless of the double ending, I guess, against other buyers' agents? How do you look better than the next?
I try to get Like I said earlier, I try to get to know my clients on a personal level because I like to personalize their offers when I'm presenting them. Obviously, if you're presenting to a bank, they really don't care who's going to buy the house. So, that offer and that submission, the style of submission that I do with that is a little bit different. I might go in as far as like, hey, they're 20% down with this, and this, and we want to close by this day. Or, if it's a personal seller, I might, get all emotional on it and, throw in a picture if it's a, just newly married couple or they just had a baby and they're trying to get a bigger house or just, a young professional and just kind of give them some background on that person so that they can, kind of maybe pull on one of those emotional strings and get them in.
On the stop.
Sometimes, too, I hand deliver. So it all just depends.
That's what she said earlier, hand deliver an offer. Now, that is a old school way. Before MLS was even on the computer, it was in that phone book style, big Bible-looking thing. Yeah, so huge, a lot of pages. But that was the old school way. Before scanning and PDFs and JPEGs and different types of emails, people would hand deliver the offers. When I was an agent in the past, myself, one of the largest ones that I did in Huntington Beach, over $500,000, I last minute drove a contract from Bellflower all the way to Newport, but I had to stop in Costa Mesa, get the offer signed, then go to Newport to get it signed by the seller's side and bring it to escrow before 5 o'clock, and it was crazy, but it was hand-delivered, and I got it done.
It's definitely worth it.
It's got some key strengths in doing something like that. It separates yourself at times. Now, if you got to go over a certain amount of mileage, I don't know if that's recommended because it might not get accepted. So next one is, right now it seems like the differences between FHA and conventional buyers. Now, people's perception and listing agents' perception as well as the seller are very different as to what's going on with our marketplace. So what do you feel the difference is right now that these listing agents or sellers are looking at between FHA and conventional buyers?
To be honest, there's a lot of all-cash buyers out there right now.
Yeah.
So definitely being an FHA buyer, it puts you low on the totem pole.
Right.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. Especially if you're looking for a condo, definitely FHA, what was it, like a year ago, they pulled all FHA approvals.
I would say so, yeah.
And so what that means, if you guys don't know what that means, is every condo complex, homeowners association, they need to get approved by FHA in order to have people purchase or to allow people to purchase a condo or townhome or whatever it is in their complex. So if that doesn't happen, I've been in instances where, we've had to get that condo complex FHA approved in order for my client to purchase the property. And let me tell you, that was not an easy process. It took months. It took about 4.5 months, and then we went into a 30-day escrow.
Wow.
So it's definitely not easy. So if you can definitely go with the 3% program, or you can be 5% down, 10% down on the up, you're definitely in a stronger position, and sometimes I have been in instances in situations where there were 3 all-cash offers, and we were 5% down, and we got our offer accepted. But that's me doing my job on my part, talking with the listing agent, assuring them that my buyer knows, everything. We had him prepped, ready to go. I always go into offers with DU approval, or at least, everything up until the point where we're ready to submit for a loan, because I want to be right there ready for my clients so that we don't miss an opportunity.
That's great. So what you guys might have missed or may not have, what she said also was a 3% conventional, and I'm going to go into some detail about that. It's been around for a little bit, but not a lot of people know about it. As a lender, we can do it. Not all banks do it. It's not in their appetite of what type of programs they want to hold in their arsenal. So we will talk a little bit about that, but that's, she mentioned something too. I didn't even say that. I said FHA versus conventional, but again, a lot of these buyers are up against cash offers, especially in California. There's a lot of money floating around, a lot of investors, even from out of the country. So tough for some of these FHA buyers.
Definitely, and it depends on the price range that you're in too, because the different price ranges, obviously anything lower than $350 right now, people are eating those properties up left and right. They're on the market for 3 days tops right now.
Wow.
From what I've seen, especially in the Long Beach area, even in Huntington Beach, and some of these cities have their special loan programs that they have, and you have to fit within the credit score, and you have to fit within the income, and this and that, and they make you jump through all these hoops. If you can be conventional, go conventional. Because also FHA's changed rulings, and they're definitely keeping that MIP on for the term of the loan now instead of going off in 5 years, or what was it, 20% equity?
Correct. After 5 years, if they had 20% equity, it could be requested taken off, and after 22% equity, the mortgage insurance could be terminated immediately.
And that was June 3rd this year.
June 3rd this year. So that's where that 3% and 5% conventional could come into play and be the solution in going FHA. Now, not every buyer can go 3% or 5%, so not to knock FHA, because I actually love doing that, as well as VA. VA is actually one of the best loans out there if you're able to qualify or have the eligibility for that. But FHA is definitely still tailor-made for those first-time home buyers. Hopefully one day you can get into a refinance or get that mortgage insurance taken off. But if you ever want any more information on that, we'll give both of our contact information at the end of this show here, so that you can reach out to us and get any questions that you have answered, whether it is on the loan side for myself or real estate related with Jamie. One of the last questions here, and this is probably one of the craziest things that's been going on in the market besides the battling and the multiple offers, is lately I've been hearing about listing agents pushing for buyers to cross-qual on deals, which I understand the whole cross-qualification process, because listing agents or sellers want to know that the buyer they're accepting are qualified. But what they're doing besides the cross-qualification, and obviously it's a tactic for the lender to get the deal, they're forcing practically these buyers to use the listing agent's mortgage lender more than ever. And Jamie was recently up against a listing agent.
Last week.
Yeah, last week, a few days ago here, and it was just crazy. So I want her to kind of explain how this went down and how she still got her buyer accepted and didn't back down from what they were trying to pull.
Yeah, this agent, first of all, they're an investment company.
No names.
Yeah, no names. They are an investment company, but not only it's not just investors. It's actual other, people who own homes, personal people selling their own homes. Their listing agents definitely want you to get cross-qualified, and I'm completely okay with that. But when you go over, above, and beyond and push, and try to back me in a corner, I'm here to represent my buyers, so I'm definitely going to stand up in their best interest. And their best interest is to use the lender of their choice, not the listing agent's lender. And in this situation, it wasn't just through phone calls, it was through emails, it was through offers, or even counter offers that she had sent us. They were definitely, and addendums. They were trying to totally get us pushing, like pretty much the verbiage was almost to the point where she was trying to scare my buyer. And I kept reassuring my buyer and saying, look, this isn't right. To me, it's unethical, because you can choose as a buyer who you want to use as your lender. I don't care who you are.
Right.
The listing, NAR, any association, any of them, they don't tell you that you have to use their agent or their lender. So definitely it was a huge issue. What I had done is I told her, I just kept telling her over and over and over again, saying, look, I've been doing business with Brandon for 7 years. Brandon knows what he's doing. We have our buyer set and ready to go. She's almost fully approved. We're ready. All her paperwork is in. All we need to do is submit for the appraisal and submit for approval, and we're ready to roll. So I kept reassuring her that we wanted to close before 30 days, because in this situation we definitely want to close before 30 days. But I just kept telling her, and what I had also done in presentation-wise, because she was so strong and pushing on having that cross-qual, I said, we have no problem cross-qualling. This was in the email that I sent her the offer with. I said, we have no problem cross-qualling, and I also copied Brandon on the email.
Great.
So that he's in on it. She already knows who he is up front. And, I said, Brandon, go ahead and give her a call and talk to her and let her know who you are and what's going on with the buyer, so you can position her and tell her how our buyer is and what's going on. And, she ended up calling you, interviewed you just a little bit over the phone, and she backed off.
Yeah, it went really well. I kind of told her what she needed to hear as far as what type of bank we are and what we do, and kind of the updates we give throughout, because I want to let, obviously, the buyer side and the selling side updated throughout the process, because we're part of the last deal and getting this deal closed, and that's why the lenders a lot of times look like the bad guys, because we're last in line to get this thing finished. But one thing that was kind of tricky was that she had an automated email response, and it basically says in that email, and I kind of remember that, it says, your buyer has a better chance of getting accepted if you use my lender.
Which is wrong. It's unethical. And it's borderline, I want to report it to the board.
Right. So it's almost like the highest and best or the most qualified should get the deal, or based on what the seller feels or who they want to accept is what needs to go down. There should be no persuasion on the lending side of things.
Exactly.
It's it's all about credit, money, who can close, and how quick, and that's what.
And I've seen other people. A couple other places that I've offered on in the last couple of weeks definitely, ask for cross call, and that's totally fine. I give them Brandon's number. They call Brandon. They talk about the buyer, and they go from there. Other than that, it's not something that they should be pushing.
Exactly. So, it's kind of funny that they do that. And as far as myself on the cross-qual side, whenever I'm on a listing agent's MLS, I make it seem very seamless. I don't want to make it tedious, because when my buyers have to do it, it's very tedious.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I end up getting that buyer to switch over, and I don't do it in an unethical way or a car salesman way. I think at the end of the day, I am honest and sincere with them, and I tell them as much knowledge that I can give them. And a lot of these first-time home buyers are dealing with maybe loan officers from a bank like, I hate to say names, but I'm going to say the major ones, B of A, Wells, and Chase, where they don't need to be individually licensed to work there. They can be a bank teller as a 22-year-old kid and then move over to the mortgage side of things and start doing business. Right.
Yeah.
So that's setting themselves up for failure, I believe. But, that's a whole other topic on a whole other show. And we are running out of a little bit of time here. So on that 3% conventional program, I might actually do another show on that specifically. I'm actually going to be doing a video with some knowledge on that. So we'll kind of go into more detail again with that one day. Other than that, I'm going to give you my information, and then Jamie will give you hers in case you have any questions in particular of anything we did go over today. If you want to call me, my cell phone number is 714-657-9209. 714-657-9209.
And my information, I'm Jamie Bulaich, again with Keller Williams, and my number is 562-449-3637. Again, 562-449-3637.
Jamie, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Right. Okay, so we're going to be doing this show once a week. Again, this is All-Star Talk Radio, where I'm only getting the elite of the elite in our professions, as well as others that I will be interviewing here very soon. So thanks again for listening. And again, our information will also be posted with the link of this show. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.